Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be giving you my spoiler-filled review for the latest horror thriller to grace the big screen starting tonight, Halloween Ends, the third and final film in this latest Halloween trilogy from Jason Blumhouse and David Gordon Green that began 4 years ago with Halloween 2018 and then continued with last year's Halloween Kills and now concludes with this year's film Halloween Ends. And there's a lot to talk about in process in this film review. So before I begin, of course, as usual, please be warned, this is a spoiler, and I mean spoiler-filled review. So if you have not seen Halloween Ends yet and you would like to, do not keep watching or listening to this review video, as I will be discussing big spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, it was not what I was expecting. And that's okay, because it was still entertaining. It kept my interest. Not once did I feel bored or disconnected. Or did I say, is this going to wrap up soon? Nothing like that at all. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. I feel like they wanted to do something different for the finale. And I feel like parts of it worked and parts of it didn't. Like, I wish they had been a little clearer as to whether or not Corey was born bad, or if there was always this inner darkness within him and it was waiting to erupt at the wrong or right moment. Because it feels like, looking back, when Michael is holding him, strangling him in the sewer when they meet for the first time, it's like Michael recognizes an inner darkness and lets him go. And then, after killing the homeless man, freaks him out. But then he feels vindicated after luring that prick cop down there, Allison's ex. And then that's what empowers him to do it again. So I don't know. And then Laurie's increasing suspicion of him throughout the film. I wish they just would have been a little clearer as to what exactly was going on with Corey. Like, was this darkness always there waiting to wake up? Or was he molded this way because of the horrific tragedy of accidentally killing the little boy he was babysitting? You know, I honestly, at first, I thought they were going to reveal in a flashback that it was actually Michael who pushed the little boy off the railing and sent him flying, but I guess Corey really did kick that door so hard it sent the kid flying off the balcony and snapping his head like he did in the film. Ouch. There were some gnarly deaths in this film. I think my favorite death scene has to be the DJ. Wish we would have gotten a lot more scenes with him because he was an interesting, funny character, but his death was extremely graphic and really satisfying to watch, because especially with how Corey in the Michael mask cut the guy's tongue off because, ironically, he was a DJ who wouldn't stop talking. But that was a great death. This sounds kind of weird, but I kind of wished that Michael had killed more people, and I think it's because I enjoyed Halloween Kills so much that I had gotten used to seeing him just go on a rampage and just killing people left and right. But I realized this wasn't that kind of movie. Its predecessor was. This one was meant to wrap things up. Speaking of wrapping things up, pretty satisfying, pretty great final fight between Laurie and Michael. Like, I loved how she basically crucified him on her kitchen counter with multiple knives and then crushed his leg with a refrigerator. And then finally, he was at her mercy for once after all these years, and she finally does what we always want to see happen in these slasher films, when the character actually gets the upper hand and successfully kills the main bad guy. She slits his throat, slits his wrists, and then they do something where I was like, oh, this is a payoff to that scene. Because in the opening of the film, they revealed the grinding metal teeth in the junkyard where Corey and his dad work. And sure enough, I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing, where they're going. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And like a funeral procession, they parade his body out on their car for the whole town to see. And so characters from the other Halloween films, like that poor woman who had the fluorescent light bulb shoved in her throat, I thought she was a goner. I was surprised and happy to see her alive. And then the funny kid whose babysitter was murdered in Halloween 2018. I can't remember his name, but he was the humorous scene-stealing kid who ran out of the house when Michael first attacked his babysitter. He was back he was back in this film to see Michael's body disposed of, and the whole town got to partake and finally see Michael's corpse ground up into ground hamburger. And I'm like, yes, that's brilliant. That's perfect. Now the town can truly begin to heal and put the legend of Michael Myers behind them once and for all. Now that they know that he is 100% confirmed dead and gone. I also like how Allison and Laurie both got fresh starts at the end of the film. Allison finally leaving Haddonfield. It was too bad about Rory being a little psycho, because she and Rory were kind of cute together until he became increasingly worse as the film went along. But I'm glad I hope Allison got a happy ending by leaving Haddonfield, and I hope Laurie and Officer Frank ended up together as well, because it certainly seemed to imply and tease that they were going to form a relationship by the end of this film, and hopefully so, because I liked the two of them throughout this whole trilogy, especially in Kills, where the chemistry was great between them, and they clearly like each other that way. So I'm hoping they ended up together at the end of this film. So overall, I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't like it as much as I liked Halloween 2018 or Halloween Kills, but this was still a pretty solid conclusion story. Memorable, bloody, violent fight between our two lead characters, and a satisfying death of the villain, and a satisfying way to wrap up Laurie and Allison's stories, and a great way for the town to properly heal and move on with now the confirmed death of Michael Myers. So I just wish the stuff with Corey had been clear, if he was born evil or if it was always there and just waiting to be awakened, or if he was molded that way because of his treatment by the town. I don't know, maybe it'll make more sense once I watch it again. I fully intend to watch it again. So I liked it though. I really, really liked it, as I hope you guys did too. So what was your favorite part of Halloween Ends? Did you have a favorite part or a favorite character or a favorite kill? Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Halloween Ends is now in theaters and streaming on Peacock for your viewing pleasure. Don't miss it. If you're a fan of Halloween, I think you're going to like it. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Thanks for watching. And of course, until next time, what's your favorite scary movie?